I'm going to talk about the second highest salary problem. I'm going to read the problem, work through my logic, and show you guys how I'm solving this problem. So the problem is I'm going to write an SQL query to get the second highest salary from the employee table. So this is the employee table, and I want the second highest salary. So I'm assuming $100, $100, $300. This is the lowest salary, the highest salary, and with this case, 200. And in a case we had like a million hundreds, and we have 200, and we have 300, and we have 600, and we have 1,000. Obviously the second highest salary is going to be 600. For example, given the above employee table, the query should return 200 as the second highest salary. If there's no second highest salary, then the query should return no. Okay, so to think about this, one thing that we can do with, which I kind of know a lot of people would probably do, is be like, oh, hey, we can just get the max salary, because in SQL you have this max, and then offset, which technically in a list, let's say this is the list. If you offset 1, it'll give you the second. If you offset 2, it'll give you the third, and etc. But I'm going to show you why this actually doesn't work. From employee, limit 1. So I just want you to give me one item, and offset 1. Because let's say offset 0 is going to give me 300. Yep, the value right here is 300. There's my output. I'll put 300, and offset 1 should give me 200. But it's not. And as I said, it's not. And the reason is because when you do select max, it only gives you a table with one item, and that's the largest item. So then obviously this is not going to work because we want a table. We want to actually put this in order. So part of my logic is put in order from largest to smallest, then grab the second one using offset. So obviously with this case we can't technically put it in order because it would seem like you get max will give you the max one, but it would probably put it in order, but it wouldn't. And I'm just saying not everybody would think that way, but I know a lot of people when I do this problem think about it that way. So that's why that's not going to work. So another thing that we can do is we can select the salary, obviously, and to put, how do you put things in order? From employee. How do we put things in order? Well, order by. And usually if you want ascending or descending, then we do order by salary because that's the column name, and we want it descending because we want from largest to lowest. So if I run this, you guys will see I'm getting 300, 200, 100. So I pretty much satisfied this logic. And then how do I grab the second one? Well, like I said, I just offset 1, because if I do offset 0, it's just going to give me 300. Oh, actually, I have to have a limit because I just want one item. I just want one item, and then offset 0, which is 300, but the second item is 1. And that's actually 200. So that's going to give me the second highest salary. And this column is called second highest, so I can just call this as second highest salary. And I run this, and I submit this. And actually, I'm getting the wrong answer. So for a quick second, why am I getting the wrong answer? Am I doing anything wrong? Go back here. Actually, if you're thinking about it, it's because here it says if there is no second highest salary, then the query should return null. So there is a possibility they're telling us that there could be no second highest salary. So they're pretty much telling us that that's the case. So how do we solve for that case? So actually, in So we're going to use this logic. But since we're going to use that logic, we can actually, so to repeat that one more time, it says if there's no second highest salary, then the query should return null. So actually in SQL, we could do select if null, my logic. So I'm gonna have my logic here, and actually the way I'll write this is like this. So I have my logic, and I have null, and that's gonna be as second highest salary. And then from what table? Well, from the employee table. But actually, since this is my logic, or where did my logic go? I'm just gonna rewrite the logic here. Since this is my logic, let's say this was X. Remember that if I have select ID, it's going to go through every single one of them. So that means it's going to run this logic because this table has 3 items 3 times. So it's going to give me 200 3 times. As you can see, it's going to give me 203 times. So technically, even if you write like distinct here, it's not going to really work because it's like embedded in this function. So actually, one thing to avoid that is just don't call the table, because everything in the whole logic is just getting the table here and it's doing everything here. So it's just going to give you, it's just going to do it once, and it's just going to give you the second highest salary, which is 200. And if we run this, it should work. So running this, let's see if we might have missed something. So we're selecting if null because that's the case. For nulls, if this doesn't work, return null as second highest salary. Let me try this. So actually, you do need distinct, because distinct actually, and actually we can even like Google this. Obviously, the statement is used to return only distinct values, since a table column often contains many duplicate values, and sometimes you only want to list the different values. What's different values? So let's go back, and I'm gonna run this without the distinct. And here we have an ID salary, we have an employee table with 2 items. So I guess so I see here, so there's a case, there is a case of a tie, in the sense that 100 is the highest and the second highest. So then it's going to give us 100, but they just want us to pull null. So we want it to be distinct, because if it's not distinct, it's going to give us 100, and if it is distinct, then it's just going to give us null because 100 is not distinct. And that's why, actually, why this works.